Welcome, everybody. It's Friday morning, my favorite day of the week. You too? Yeah. Welcome, live streamers. You guys just bring so much to this whole meeting that we have every Friday morning. It's great to be able to have we started off calling this a study group, which it's turned into so much more than that. It's always some kind of party that's just led by the Holy Spirit. So welcome, everyone. What?
Online Spiritual Center.
It's the Online Spiritual Center for the Teachers of God Foundation, and that's who we are. My name is Linda Leland. Bill and Lisa are off traveling this weekend to, I believe they left today or leaving today to Corinne Zupko's new book launch party. She wrote a book based on A Course in Miracles about healing from anxiety. Does anybody know the title of that? Anyway, it's an incredible book. It's helped so many people.
I think that is the title.
Healing from Anxiety, or From Anxiety to Love, or something like that. From Anxiety to Love. Corinne Zupko. So it's great. So she's got a new book coming out. So Lisa and Bill just went there to support her, and I think that's so great. And I think there's some workshops that they're teaching at too, and meeting some people from our Living in Purpose program, which is our sort of that's our mastery program. It's our focus program. So anyway, what else? I was just telling them that I'm always so afraid I'm just going to freeze and like the red light will go on and I'll just be like, no. So I think there are still some tickets left for the ACIM conference in May of 2019. These are so fun. Like you don't even, if you've never done one before, you can't even imagine the healing that happens and the energy of the group of hundreds of people in one room for one weekend, focusing on this work for like 8 hours a day and then going out and playing. So there's a few tickets left. If it's you, you know it's you. Just go get them. On the events section of our teachersofgod.org, you can find more information. I know there's probably other things I need to talk about. Here's Awesome Al. I am really glad that Monica Dubay is teaching today, and her topic is how to have impact on the world. See? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to all of our programs. Shout out to everybody in the transformation room. Thank you, Bonnie. This was our first week, and the community in there is absolutely more than just taking on a life that none of us imagined it would. And we started doing our first month's module, which is the Art of Surrender. So thank you to everybody involved and to everyone doing the 40-day program. Welcome. If you're here, if you're first time here, welcome. We love you. And True Prosperity, we have ACIM 3. True Prosperity is a program that we have. It's an advanced course in unlimited abundance. It is not just another course about manifesting more money. This is an advanced course to open up all the abundance of God in your life, no matter where you're lacking. And we have ACIM 365, which, we all know how brilliantly Lisa breaks down the messages of A Course in Miracles. Sometimes they can be hard to understand at the beginning. So she walks you through those workbook lessons every single day for a year. There's another, and then Living in Purpose. This is our Experts Academy, pretty much. This is our mastery program, and it's a lifetime membership. It's a place where you really get most access to Lisa and Bill, with monthly conference calls and some other teachers on our team. It's got an incredible community within it. So that's called Living in Purpose Mastery Program. And of course, our newest Transformation Room, which is a membership site, where we practice these principles, where there's a vast library to intervene when you're triggered, to stop and repattern the old thought, and a huge community of support. So we have so much. Plus these Friday morning groups, and we're sending out blogs now twice a month. So it's all, you can find all of it at theteachersofgod.org. Thank you, guys. So without further ado, we're going to invite John Warnsdorfer up here to read Plenty of Time from Cafe Gratitude.
Okay. No, I won't do that. Circumstances. Everybody knows what circumstances are, and sometimes they change what we're doing make us so it's not capable of doing what we're doing. I make circumstances. I don't think I have to explain that. I think everybody gets that. So what question is your life about answering? I'm done.
Right. Anyone have an answer to that? What question is your life about answering?
Why am I here?
Andy said, why am I here?
Who am I?
That's what came to me as who am I? That's what it's all about. That's why we're here. And how can I help? Beautiful. You guys are, okay, so now's the time when we greet each other, and it's kind of a different kind of greeting that we're used to doing most of the time out in the world, and it's a great practice for how to see each other and how to see ourselves. It is only when we make the decision to see the Christ, to see the highest in another, that we're going to see it in ourselves. You can't have it both ways. This is how we learn to know that, to remember, to learn who am I, by seeing it in another. So we're just going to take a few minutes to really intentionally see that in each other. And we use the word namaste. Hi, everybody. Hi. So I'd like to introduce Monica Dubay. She is a spiritual coach and a healer. She has a website to take people through deep transformation. It's called Heal Your Mind, healyourlife.com.
Yes.
And she's amazing. I mean, I know many people in this room who have just gone through such a deeper knowing and a deeper transformation from working with you. So I thank you for all you do. And without further ado, here's my friend and our great teacher, Monica Dubay.
Okay, I'm on. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello. So I chose the topic for this class, how to impact your world by using the power of your mind. And I really like this topic because it's changing it from, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing the course, and I've been doing it for 20 years or 30 years or however, it doesn't matter. And do you see how that's all about me? Your I this, and truly what we're here, in my mind, what we're here to do is to give this message, right? To be this
Amen.
in the world.
That's good already.
Right?
Yeah, stop.
Why else? So I'm done. No. But that's a shift, right? Because a lot of us come into the course having done it for a long time on your own, sitting at home, reading the lessons, all that stuff. And it's great because it works, right? I mean, I found it when I was depressed, and it gave me the answer to the depression and why I was so depressed. It answered my question of why am I so afraid? Where's this fear coming from? Which was huge. I mean, I wasn't sleeping. It was really painful what I was going through. And the world made no sense to me at that time. So what I needed to find was a way out of that closed, fearful thought system. Of course, we understand that now after you open the book and you read it for a while. It's like, oh, that's called the ego. Or it's your conditioning. It's your human condition. And that is your real problem. It's really your only problem. But it takes lots of forms, and it takes a lot of, it's very complicated, and there's so much to it. Like there's ways that you relate to people. There are ways that you try to work. There are relationships that you have with money. There are relationships you have with everything here. You're in a world of physicality. It's third dimension, right? So we're always in this, what I call pseudo-reality, right? It's really a pseudo-reality. It's not the reality the Course talks about. And because we've made up this pseudo-reality, we really believe in it, right? We totally buy it. We're completely attached to it because guess what? We're the author of it. So this is where it comes down to this idea that I'm struggling because I don't see that. I hide that from myself. I really think the problem is happening to me. Okay. So there's this issue that I find myself faced with it all the time of how can I be in the hey, am I calling? Sky calling. How can I truly be myself, I guess? First discover who I really am, because that's my whole problem. I don't know who I am. I have a problem with authority. I think I made up my world and my life, and I think I made up all the characters in it, and or actually I don't know that. But I think it's all just happening to me, and I just came in, I was born, and here I am, and this world was all here when I came, and the Course gets you to look at that thought, that idea, that you're really not at the effect of what you see, but you're causing it, okay? So this is kind of interesting. I didn't know I was going to go here right away, but the question I had when I was asked what I was going to teach today was my entire purpose of my life, which I discovered when I found the Course, is to live in full expression and integrity with the power of my mind, right? But if I don't have the power of my mind, I can't really do that. I can't do it. I have to find the power of my mind, and I have to work with it. And so it's an application. It's not just, I'm going to read the book and I'm going to learn about the truth. And I'm going to meditate on it, and I'm going to read other books that compare with it. I did all this, by the way. And I'm going to talk to other people that have read it, and I'm going to try to associate myself with this world I made, right? But all the time I'm doing all this, I'm still separate. I'm still just me going, how do I get out of here? How do I solve this? Maybe they have the answer. Maybe she has the answer. Maybe I'll go to that talk. Maybe I'll go to that workshop. And people do this, right? And there's a lot of transformation offered right now on the planet, thank God. But and so we all have the ability to, okay, I'm going to go to that workshop, and then I'm going to go to that one. And we've done a lot of that. But we never quite get to the place where we go, enough is enough. You know, I want to actually be this. I've got to be this. I've got to give it. I've got to express it. So the impact, the idea of impact, and I've just done the Landmark Forum, so it really has impacted me. And the reason I wanted to mention that is because we can really stay in the theorizing and the studying and the, you know, hi David. Yeah. So, you know, we can stay in the studying it and learning about it and learning this concept. I mean, we've got this huge thick book. Oh my God.
Hold it up.
When I saw this original book, and I was like, 600 pages, what? I was like, no, I put it down. So for a couple more years, I didn't go near it. But because it looked so daunting to me, right? And I remember because I was taking a class in public speaking, and when they said you have to get up and speak for 10 minutes at the beginning of the class for the next, that was your assignment, I was like, no way, and I dropped the class. There was no way I was going to do that. So I was in complete resistance to growing and coming out of fear. You know, I was too afraid. I was just too terrified. However, it took a couple of years after that. I went into deep depression. That's where everything started to fall apart in my life. And mostly it was like I gave up music, which, you know, I had majored in music. So this was a big deal for me to give this up. And I'm living in New York City, and I'm married, and I give up music, which is my first love. It's the thing I want to do. And I realized that I'm not going to be able to do it for a living. And so I let it go. And I was kind of not that unhappy about that, but it did start to affect me because I didn't know who I was if I wasn't a musician. It's my first wake-up call, like, you have identified yourself as this, and now that's gone, right? And it was huge. So I went into depression. So my big question was, why am I so afraid? Where's the fear coming from? I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. All I could do was, you know, really get on my knees and surrender, you know, which is why I love this topic for the month of August. It is about letting go of you thinking you can solve your own problem, right? And being aware that you can't solve your own problem creates an opening and a possibility of something else dawning on you. And I do this a lot with my clients because a lot of people come to me in a great deal of pain. But what happens is I have to show them that they're really trying to solve their own problem over and over and over, lifetime after lifetime maybe, you know, where, okay, I'll just read this next book, I'll take that program, you know, and you really think you alone can solve your problem. And you can't. You know, you just can't. It keeps getting, you still end up with you separate and alone and trying to figure it out, right? Okay, so that could be a really devastating moment, and it is, and it's a bottom. It's what I call a bottom. And when you're there, I have really a lot of compassion for that moment in people's lives because it's where you really give up. It's where you stop thinking you have any answers at all. And your identity just kind of fizzles. And it's so devastating. And when I was with the master teacher, whenever we hit a moment of devastation, he would look at us and go, "You look beautiful." You know, and you might have been crying all night. You might have been throwing up. I don't know. You might have looked, but you'd walk into the session room and he'd go, "You look so beautiful." Because he could see that that was real. What you were experiencing was you finally let go. And until that moment, you're not teachable. You're just not. You're not coachable. You're not teachable. You really think I can do this. You know, it's like white knuckling. They call it in the 12-step program. You really think it's okay. I'll be okay. I'm going to, just do that diet or that, find that guru. And really, it's a moment of no return when you hit it, though. And it's really not a fun place to be. It's not fun. And yet, when I see that that's actually going on for someone, that's the most impact I can ever have, is just sit there with you in that and show you that this is the moment you've been afraid to look at. This is the place you didn't want to go. You did not want to go there. You would rather die. Seriously. And you can't. I mean, that's what really, truly, what the Course showed me was, you can't die. You can try to kill the body, and I know somebody, and a lot of people actually that tried to kill themselves, and they sat there, with their wrists bleeding, and they were like, it takes a long time for that blood to come out of your body. I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. She goes, it was so devastating to realize that I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't actually die. I tried. And the truth that she came to, and other people that do this and don't succeed, is that that's not it. That's not your answer. That's not the way out. The way out is something completely different. And it's not as, how can I say this? It's not what you think. It's really letting go entirely. Letting go into the love that you are. Because all of that anger and all of that pain and all of that suffering is just this cover-up. It's sitting on top of the truth of who you are. But you don't see it because you're in too much pain. You just can't see it. It's like you're just blind. You get this big blind spot. And and this is what the Course says too, that you forgot to question the reality of your problem. That's the one thing you won't do. Jesus is always leading us to these places in our mind that we don't want to go. We're like, no, not that. I don't want to give that up. I don't want to lose my house. It's really about letting you see how attached you are to the dream. And so I love this because what I get to see in doing this work is that my relationship with that person in that moment is so incredibly sacred and holy and real that I often, I'm just kind of speechless about it. It's really what the master teacher did for me and hundreds of people. Bring you to the place you really didn't want to look. Because you really think that there's something you've done that's wrong or bad. You really think that you are evil or separate, which is the same thing. You really think you lack love. You really think you're that separate little identity, and it has absolutely no reality. It's kind of astounding. Like you don't even really exist in that moment. That you that's so devastated and that's not even you. That's the pseudo you, the you made up. And you don't get to see that you until you get there. In other words, you don't get to see that, it's just a dream? Really? Like, does this book actually tell me that over and over and over? And it's taken me 30 years to hear it? Yeah, it's okay. It's only 30 years. I've been here 40,000 years, right? Human beings have been on the planet for at least 40,000 years. What's 30 years? Truly. So there's this idea that this is taking a long time. But actually what the Course says, and what I really truly see, is that it took us a lot longer to put ourselves to sleep and to separate off and to make up a world and make up reasons why we were powerless. A lot longer. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So my question really is, what have you got to lose? You know? If you really want to transform, if you really want to have impact, you got to heal your own mind. And I don't even heal your own, I can't, that's not true, sorry. You can't do that either. What you have to do is recognize that you got to become like a little child. Okay? And I'm going to read a section in the Course about this. But we know that Jesus said this, be like little children, and you will inherit the kingdom of God, right? Because we are all really that innocent. We all have not done anything wrong. This is a dream. This was separation, an idea of separation and death. Yes, we've bought into it completely. We really believe in it. And we're so sad because it seems like people are suffering. It seems like, right, they're dying. And it seems like you're just stuck in this reality. And the truth is, that's all just your own perception. It's your perception. And your perception is always distorted by an idea of who you are. So you're always, the thing about impact is you're always impacting, right? When you're fearful, you're impacting everyone around you by being fearful. When you're in love and you're extending love, you're impacting. So impact is always happening. And the question I have is, what kind of impact do you want to have? Right? How do you want to impact? Do you want to, and as teachers of God, of course, that's the foundation. That's what we've agreed to, or we wouldn't be sitting here. We've agreed to step in and to step up into the light of the truth of who we are. And that's a covenant that we have made with our higher beings, or I will call them, you know, the masters. We've made a covenant to carry this message into the world because we see that there are people that don't know it, and they seem to be suffering. And so it's not about us. It's really not about me. It's that I see that there's a need. There's a call for help. And someone answered my call for help. And helped me see all this and really experience it. And so it's my job. It's my only function to bring the message into the world. I give it away. If I don't give it away, I don't get to keep it, right? So step 11, 10, 11, 12 is really where I live. Always looking at where am I off and how can I affect? How can I help? How can I change? And the only way to change my impact is by healing my relationships, by truly honoring the impact I'm having on everyone in my life by either not engaging with them or engaging with them half-heartedly, which is what I was doing in my family recently. I have a big family, you know, and it's a bit overwhelming. There's 5 sisters, 3 brothers. I have 2 kids. They all have kids. And we're pretty active together. And then I have all of you, and then I have clients, and then I have Unity. And then so I have all these groups that I'm part of. And now Landmark. I mean, there's just all these groups that I realize I have some relationship with. And I want that. You know, I came here to do that. I came out of Wisconsin where we were a very active group of people that went into the world and set up healing centers and gave away the message for years. So I can't stop doing that. That's my love. That's my joy. And when I'm not doing that, I'm suffering. I'm isolating. And I'm holding back from really being who I am. And that hurts me. But it also has impact on others. I'm not reaching out. I'm not making amends. I'm not forgiving. I'm not owning. And actually, what I don't get to do is I don't get to experience the love that's there. The conversation I had yesterday with one of my dearest friends was, and she was here for me when I first arrived, and I was very devastated through all of what I had given up to come here. And we found each other, and she was a massage therapist, and I was a massage therapist, and we did a lot of exchanges. She's a musician, I'm a musician. We just hit it off like we'd known each other for a long time. And I ran into her yesterday, and I just was like, I haven't seen you for months. What's going on? And I realized how much I missed her, and that I had been feeling like maybe she didn't want to be with me anymore, or maybe, you know, she didn't have time for me anymore. And so I was like, realized I had to tell her this. I had to be really authentic with her. I had to say, you know, you pulled me out of a gutter when I was in my deepest, darkest pain. And actually, everyone in this room has helped me. Everyone. And Nancy gave me a home. You know, I mean, so you really can't imagine what it feels like to finally recognize all the gifts in your life, all the blessings, all the people that have shown up for you and loved you. And I think of my parents who are gone now, but they're not. They're with me all the time. And I think of my siblings and all that we've done and shared together. And I'm just overwhelmed. I'm really overwhelmed with gratitude and joy that I get to actually recognize that it's my job and my function to be authentically myself and share. That's it. I'm not here to, I have no other agenda. I don't. I'm here to offer myself and to create a possibility, right, of having impact. It's so simple. How to really have powerful impact is just simply give up your separation from others. Just give it up. You're not separate anyway. They didn't actually do that thing to you that you hold them responsible for. It never happened, you know. And because of the story you keep making up and you think it's true, you stay in it and you make your story real, but truly your story was never real. Yeah. So it's lesson 1 and 2 always. Nothing I see means anything. It's all meaningless. And I'm giving it all the meaning it has for me, which is the story I tell. So every time I open my mouth, I'm telling a story and I'm creating a reality. Every time. You know, it's powerful to recognize it and to actually be in integrity with it. Like truly know that your word has power and that what you're saying has impact. And so when you say, you know, you did this to me, to someone, you're actually blaming them for something that you're thinking, you're perceiving. And that doesn't work, you know, because it's never them, ever. So you have to give up being right about it. You have to give up being right about your story, okay? Your story is always about you and your victimization. It just always is. The bottom line is I'm a victim of everything that happened to me when I was born. I mean, my sister died. Like, I took that on, I guess. I was 4. I must have, at some point, blamed myself for that because I felt I was never safe. And I really saw it recently. that I always feel like there's something wrong. And that's the story. The story is of something wrong. Get it? How interesting. My story is always there's something wrong. If it's not the weather, it's my finances, or it's my relationship, or it's my siblings, or it's my kids, or it's living in New York, which I did for a long time, or, you're always making something out there wrong. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Isn't it funny? Like, there's nothing wrong. I'm in love with you. I want you to come home with me. We're going home. That's it. There's nothing wrong here. This is a dream. We're waking up. It's all right. It's all completely right. It's all perfect. You made it up. You're here. You can't solve your own problem, so give up. Give up being right and give up trying to solve it. Be like little children. Be defenseless. Because the kingdom is in you. It's not outside of you. It is in your own defenselessness, the innocence, the truth of you. And so you have to ask for help when you're suffering. You have to ask for help when you don't see that, when you're in the blind spot, when you think that person did that to you, and you really can't see it any other way, right? And I know you can't. That's okay. I get it. I couldn't forgive when I couldn't forgive either. But just admit it. I can't forgive. I really believe this dream is true. I really believe that person hurt me. Yeah, you do. That's okay. But it's not the end of the story. The end of the story is, have you had enough of that story to want the truth? And that is, you are, the secret of salvation is I but do this to myself. Right? I'm responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. Everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for, and I receive it as I have asked for it. Okay? That's Course in Miracles 101. But it's an application. You can't just keep theorizing it and telling everybody, you're just making it all up. It's not about doing that. It really isn't, because you're making them wrong. See? So where do you do that? Where do you hold yourself separate? Where do you hold other people responsible for your pain? It'll never work. You'll go to your grave with it, and truly that's so sad. It's tragic that you would do that when you're being told the truth and you have the truth. And sometimes when I coach people, they say, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm listening and I don't hear any answers. And I don't know if God's really there. And, and I'm like, okay, so what's your question? And they're like, well, why don't I hear the answers? And I'm like, okay, well, do you have this book? Because the answer to your problem is in this book. If you can't hear a voice, go to the book and open to any page, and it will bounce out at you like, oh, there it is. That's what I needed. So you can't tell me you don't hear it. You don't have the answer. The answer is already in you, but if you can't hear it or you think you're separate still, go to the book, pick it up. And actually, that's why I do these lessons all the time, because there are moments where I forget everything that I know, right? When I get caught in my blind spot of suffering, I forget. The whole book just disappears. Everything I've learned. And it's astounding that happens. But it's not, because it means that I'm going deeper. I'm going to a level that I didn't want to go to before. Here it is. Okay. Yep. Good. That's my job. We're all light workers, so we're all doing that work. We're all doing the transformation. And you were committed to it, right? You came here because you're committed. You don't want anything but this. Or maybe you do want other things too, and that's fine, But in the end, what you really, truly want is to see that nothing's ever wrong and to know that there's no such thing as a split mind. And the Course is full of the theory behind that. You know, you made up a split mind, you made up an ego, you made up a separate self. Yep, but there's still no such thing as that. It's in the preamble, right? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. You got to bring it back. It's not real. So there's no split mind, and you're being deceived, right? So you do have to ask for help when you're in the deception. Jesus says, if you find a fault in your brother, your eye is seeing something wrong with them, pluck that out, right? Pluck it out. That's not it. You're judging them. That's your judgment. That's not them. And so pluck that out and let it go. Let go of the judgment. Let go of thinking that you can solve it. Let go of thinking that, because you're impacting them by judging them. And it's painful. And I don't think you really want to do that. Because ultimately you don't. You really just want to be free, and you want them to be free, because they're you. Yes?
I have a question online.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you might want to answer it.
Sure. We have a question coming in. Yes?
I understand that as adults we are responsible for our thoughts, etc., but I don't
Hold on, Bonnie. Let's do it together.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not following my own rules. I understand that as adults we are responsible for our thoughts, etc.
Yes.
But I don't understand how a child who is abused has responsibility for creating those experiences. I don't know if you want to try that one on or not, Monica.
I do.
You're very good.
Yeah. Yes. So you're seeing a child that is abused, right? And you're making them responsible for that, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay? You're seeing the abuse, you're perceiving it, bring it back to you, and it's happening. What story are you telling about it? Because the story is still a story. I mean, who in this room or on the camera has not experienced some form of abuse in your life? Has not. Is there anyone?
We told ourselves we were abused.
Right. Do you know that the ego is what abuse is? It is abuse itself. It is the attacker. It's always attacking you. I can laugh about it, but this is really happening. Absolutely. That seeing a child who's being abused brings me to my knees. But I can't solve that for them. I'm not making him guilty. I'm not making the child guilty. I'm not making anyone guilty. There is no guilt here, okay? It's that I choose to recognize the cause of that abuse. And you don't know. We don't know anyone else's true story, and we don't know their past. And so I cannot judge what that is or who's responsible or any of that. I do know I'm responsible for seeing that and having the impact that I possibly can to heal it. Okay? But when I am healed, and might read some of this when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. So my question to that person would be, what are you doing to heal your mind of the perception of abuse? Okay? It's a hard teaching. It's not something that you even want to accept. You still want to make that guy wrong. Right? I mean, some of us had abusive parents. Some of our parents sexually abused us. Like, horrendous, right? But the only answer is The only answer to all of this is what I'm teaching. So you either want to hear it or you don't, and it's totally fine. It's all up to you. There's no guilt. There's no guilt here. It's a dream. You're dreaming a dream of separation, and you've put yourself to sleep. And it is a nightmare. It is horrendous. People kill themselves over this. So I don't know what you want to do with it. I don't want it. I don't want that dream. I don't want to be here anymore in that world. And so I found the answer to it. I'm getting chills. I found the answer to it because I couldn't stand the pain of this world. Absolutely. I saw it all around me, and I saw you could become this great musician, you could play for the New York Philharmonic, you can have whatever and be so famous and blah, blah, blah. And I saw people in the Philharmonic. I was actually babysitting for them. And I was like, you don't look too happy. Like, you're still struggling. You're still, like, that was not it. It wasn't going to be it for me. I wasn't going to make it. And I saw it at 30 years old. I'm not going to make it. And I don't mean make it like, I just mean make it in the world like someone special, like someone great, like a big persona, or even just a successful person. You know, I wasn't going to do that because I didn't want it. I saw it. It was futile. I was still going to die. That's why I was depressed. It's like, it made no sense to me. Does it make sense? A world of separation, really? Okay, so do you want the problem? And thank you for the question, because it brought me right to this place I wanted to go, which is, do you want the problem or do you want the answer? When you're suffering, when you're seeing suffering, when you can't make sense of the world, you have to ask for help. And then you have to receive the answer. That's it. Okay, that's Jesus says, you think that your specific problem isn't worth it. It is. Your specific problem is worth it. Let that take you to your knees and ask for help and get the help you need. Okay? You're making up problems and making one problem, which is you're separate, into many problems. Well, what about this? And what about Hitler? And what about Trump? And what about, the kids who are starving? What about, yeah. It's one problem, one solution, and I can't make it any simpler. Okay? All right, thanks. Where am I going with this? Yeah, thank you. So what you do and what you say and what you think matters. That's how you have impact. Everything you think. This is what's a little bit scary about this. It's like you got to really watch your thoughts. That's why the 40-day program is like 101, for learning how to watch your thoughts and see, oh, I keep doing that. I keep complaining. I mean, for some people, that's the beginning of your awakening. It's like, I hear myself complaining, and I can't stop. So you ask for help, right? So your job, once you've found your solution, you've come out of the bottom and you've found that there actually is an answer, because there is a God, thank God, and there is life all around you, and there are people who love you, and they're reflecting your love to you all the time. And you get to live this amazing life where you're blessing and healing and loving and giving. Then what is yours is you get to have and be everything. Love. Because that's all there is. And there's nothing my holiness cannot do. So your job at that point is to see the beauty in you and accept it. I have to read this. See the beauty in you and extend it. See the love in you and extend it. And if you can't find it, get some help. If you can't find it because you're in too much pain, get the help. Ask for help and you'll get it. Okay, I hope this helps. But recognize one thing when you're in pain, that you don't perceive anything correctly. You don't perceive your own best interest. You're upset because you're upset because you see something that's not there. You're seeing only the past. You're preoccupied with the past. These are the beginning lessons, right? And your thoughts about yourself actually have absolutely no meaning. And they're not really even there. But you're focusing on what's not there. It's really tricky, but it's crazy. When you get to the bottom of it, you see, I've been dreaming this dream of separation and making everybody else wrong and thinking I know everything. And for how long? Right? And then finally you go, I don't like it. I don't like this game. I'm going to take my toys and go home. And Jesus says that. Put away your toys. Put away your judgment. What are your toys? Judgment, separation, complaining, sharp-edged children's toys. It's all judgment. It's all fear. I couldn't even think of that. What was I addicted to? Yeah, fear. Put it away. Put it away and come home. Do not make the mistake of believing that you understand what you perceive could be. I can't even talk. So much energy. Do not make the mistake of believing that you understand what you perceive. Right? Don't make the mistake of believing you understand the child who's being abused. Let it go. Its meaning is lost to you. But the Holy Spirit has saved its meaning for you, and if you will let him interpret it for you, that's why you have to ask for help. He will restore what you have thrown away. You've thrown it away. You've abandoned yourself. You've given power to everybody else. You're giving power to Trump. You know, I mean, really? Like you give power to these figures in your dream, and then you let them tell you who you are. Amen. How insane is this? Crazy. So as long as you think you know its meaning, you will see no need to ask it of him. Okay? This is really great. This is kind of like a 2x4. Not one thought you hold is wholly true. I know, right? Damn, I thought I was right. That's why it's give up. Give up the being right. Give up the right to be right. That's what I'm learning in Landmark. Give up the right to be right. You don't have a right to be right. Well, you do, but is it working? It doesn't work for me. Right. Do I want the problem or do I want the answer? This section is in chapter 11, section 9, asking for God's answer. Because I obviously don't have it, right? If I'm in suffering and pain and I think it's all outside of me, you are not misguided. You have accepted. Oh, the recognition of this is your firm beginning. I love going back to the beginning. The recognition that not one thought you hold is wholly true is your firm beginning. You are not misguided. You have accepted no guide at all. You're just lost. You're confused because you don't know who you are. You've accepted no guide. So instruction and perception is your great need, for you understand nothing. It's really insulting, isn't it? It's like, damn, I know nothing, you know? But I like that. I like feeling like, I got nothing. I don't know. Because then there's this, I don't have to know. I don't have to have the solution to my own problem that I made up. Thank God, because I would be stuck here forever, right? We'd be stuck in pain forever if there wasn't a God and a teacher. So it says, recognize this, but do not accept it. For understanding is your inheritance. So you have the right to understand what's going on. You do. But perceptions are learned, right? It's your conditioning. You've learned separation. You've learned to be separate. You've worked your way through to learn of him depends on your willingness to question who have learned amiss should not be your own teacher. This is so, it's like humility, finding the fact, oh my God, I did this to myself. Please, Linda.
I love where it says that to give a problem over to the Holy Spirit is to have it solved.
Yes.
And to keep it for yourself. I can't remember the exact, but something like, we'll keep it going. We'll keep it powerful and unjust in your life. So, and I think there's a lot of, there's some fear to take your hands off the wheel, but I think sometimes we want to keep our problems.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Serving
we
something. But to know, it's like, how clear is that? To hand your problem over to the Holy Spirit means you want it solved. So if you're not doing that, there's like some questions you need to ask yourself.
Do I like it?
Why
Yeah,
don't
what am I invested in?
Yeah.
Why am I investing in this?
Yeah.
What's the payoff?
Yeah. Because trusting in this, for all of us here in this scary nightmare, starts as a decision.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't come naturally. It's awkward at first.
Really awkward.
But there's no other way you're going to see that it's real. And then it gets so much easier until it just becomes natural. But you got to kind of go through that awkward period. But really ask yourself, do I want this problem solved or not? And then...
Yeah. Do I like the results I'm getting?
Yeah.
You know?
That's a pretty much cut and dry. Is this working?
Do you like
No,
conflict?
okay, now hand it over.
Do you like conflict?
Yeah.
Take a look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game over. I don't want to play this game anymore. I saw it when I was 30, and and then I was married, and then I had a couple of kids, and then even at 40, I was still not. I'd been through a lot with the course, and been teaching it, but I had to take a real hard look at my life at that age too, and go, is this what I want? Because I thought I did. It was really kind of astounding. I thought I wanted the house and the kids and the suburban life and the money. And then I saw that was like, ugh, so that wasn't going to do it either. So at 40, I made a huge decision to hand my will and my life over to the care of my Creator and truly step in. And my life is about transformation, so it's never stopped being that. So no one can withhold the truth except from himself.
Okay, nobody can hear what that's right.
No one can withhold truth except from himself. So the answer is still in you. And the question you really have to ask is, do I want the problem or do I want the answer?
Love it.
So simple. Do I like the story I'm telling? Does it feel good to be separate from people that I love because I'm telling them that they hurt me? I have 5 sisters. All 5 of them I had agreements with. And I saw this when I did the forum, and I realized that the truth is I really love my sisters. Like, I'm astounded by the love I have for my sisters and my brothers. 3 of them too. And they all have supported me, and they all are there for me. And they all come to my aid when I need them. And I don't know if I had ever said how much I love them to them. And we hang out quite a bit together up in Maine where I grew up. And it's fun in the summer, especially. We all get together a lot. There's always a lot of chaos, as usual. But the truth is that when I walk in now, I'm not afraid, because I've had a conversation with every one of my siblings recently where I came clean. And I just said, I have never told you how much I appreciate all that you've done for me. And not even done for me, but just that you've been there for me. I mean, they took care of me. My oldest sister was like my mom. She took care of me for all those years. Anyway, do you appreciate it? Do you appreciate your relationships? Do you tell them how much you love them? So I just started doing that, and boy, my fear just left me completely. My isolation left me. I wasn't isolated, I was dreaming a dream of isolation. I was never isolated, literally. And you hide. When you hide and isolate, it's because you've got some deep shame about yourself and that you think they're judging you. But it's never that. It's you are judging you, and you're keeping yourself apart from love, from truly extending. So we're, if you want to be a teacher of God, which is apparently you do, or you wouldn't be watching this, it means you're ready to take your place as one of the ministers of God, or the teachers of God. You're ready to do that. You say yes. When the shit hits the fan, because it will, when you say that, when you make your declaration, shit really hits the fan. Your life starts to crumble. Because it's like, okay, we heard you. Here's this, you're going to give that up. Here's this, you're going to give that up. Here's this, you're going to give that up. Why? Because you don't need it. I mean, I gave away all my furniture, all my clients. I walked away from everything. My community, I walked away from everything 4 years ago. And I came here and I'm just like sitting here, what an adventure. I didn't always feel that way, but it is. Like, look, I get to do this. I get to support you. I get to support Lisa and Bill. I get to support myself. It's so fun. What else would I do? Really? So decide for the answer and you will have it, for you will see it as it is, and it is yours already. It's already been given you. The whole kingdom has already been given you. You're the one that's off in Never Never Land, dreaming a dream, right? So you may complain that this course is not sufficiently specific for you to understand it and use it. But it's been very specific, and you have not done what it specifically advocates. That's it. You can complain about the course being too confusing. It's not really addressing my problem. Yeah, but my problem's different. You don't know my story. My story is way worse than your story. I mean, I've heard it all, so yes, your story is way worse than everybody else's. Good, have at it. It's still a story, though. It's not real. It's not the reality of the love that you are. You don't get to stand in light and inspire people and come home to the truth of you. So that story is not that interesting to me anymore. The victim story really doesn't interest me. Even mine. And it did for a long time. Oh, yeah. So this is not a course in the play of ideas. I really like this. I'm going to say this probably 10 times. Not today, but over the next couple months. This is not a course in the play of ideas. We're not theorizing here. But it is a course in their practical application. So that's what some of these workshops do. They help, like Landmark, it helps you to see it. It's you. It's right now. There's no tomorrow. Make your amends. Do the work you got to do to create a clearing in your life for possibility, for you to impact. And truly, that's why I went to it, because I was like, I know I'm supposed to have impact. I don't know how to do that. And they're like, great, you're in the right place to know. Like, really. And then it was all about relationships and where you told a story, and it's all the same as A Course in Miracles, of course, because this truth is true and nothing else is true. And okay, but you're afraid of the specificity for fear of what you think it will demand of you, right? What's it going to cost? Right? Yeah, I want to do this, but what's it going to cost me? Everything. All the thoughts you think about yourself. The whole story you made up, the world you created and live in. But does it work? But does that world work for you? Because it really, I mean, I don't know about you, but there aren't that many people that I see who live in full integrity and are fully being themselves and having impact. Most people are stuck in the dream. They're stuck in the, I got better things to do. I want to go make $1 million and then go play golf. Okay. I just put an ad in a home and golf magazine. I have no idea why I did that. It's supposed to hit the North Shore sometime in this month.
I love it.
And I'm like, what? Are you sure? Like the direction I get sometimes like freaks me out. There must be one person who's going to pick up that magazine and see my face and go, I got to call her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Love
We
that.
keep talking about golf lately. I have no idea why. I don't even play. I'd like to learn. But I don't have time. Let's see. So his answer is both many and one, as long as you believe that the one is many. So don't make so many problems up out of a dream. You know, it's just one dream. It's just separation. It doesn't mean anything. So God gives. So, okay, here's the thing. God is never demanding anything of you. He's never asking anything of you. He does not want you to sacrifice. Please, let go of the idea of sacrifice. I lived in sacrifice a long time. You know, I was trying to be the good mom, the housewife, and never paying attention to what I wanted. If you're doing that, just ask for help and call me. I can help you. It's just really, that's not what God wants. God is only asking you to be free. He's asking you if you want to be free. He's not asking you to choose to be free, right? It's all given you. It's just that you're not listening. You're not making the right choice. So only by asking will you learn that nothing that is of God demands anything of you. God gives. God only gives. God is an extension of energy, of light. That's what you are. So when you extend and you become free, you really have no say about what's going on in your life. It's like, oh, I guess it's part of the plan. What plan? My plan. My plan to wake up. That's all. There's no divine plan. The plan is I want to wake up and that's what I'm doing. It's still my plan, but it's a plan. It's a true plan, right? It's like this is still part of the illusion, right? The book. But it's a true illusion. It's the only truth in the illusion. Kind of weird. It's paradoxical. But it's true that only truth is true, right? Only truth can be true because everything that's not true is not true. But for human mind, that makes absolutely no sense. So I'm asking you to let go of the human mind and the human condition because it'll never make sense. It doesn't work. God gives, he does not take. You are refusing to ask because you believe that asking is taking and do not perceive it as sharing. Isn't that cool? So it's just sharing. If you want to have impact in the world, share. Share your love with everyone. Share. Give. Create something that solves the issue of children being abused. Create something that will solve the problem of addiction. And, heroin addiction. Do something with your love to help, in this dream, right? That's what it means to me to have impact. That's why I stand here. That's why I try to take every opportunity to speak, because I know that there are lots of people in the world, especially the young people in colleges now, they really want to have impact. They really are so tired of this dream and being labeled ADD and labeled Asperger's and labeled all these things and then categorized and put in these, it's insane. They all have incredible gifts to give. We all do. We have to find what it is and bring it into the world and create the impact of, I've had enough. It's time for me to love. It's time for me to be in the love that I am. And you want that too, right? That's what everyone really wants. And it's not that hard. It's just, it's different from what you thought it was. So that's it, yeah.
Yeah, so I love what you're saying so much because oftentimes we sit back and we want peace to come to us.
Yeah.
But it's like it has to come through you. Nothing will come to you that can't come through you. It has to go Like we're waiting for it to come here. Like peace. I need peace. I need money.
I need.
I need more attention. I need more whatever. But whatever you need is never going to work that way. You know, that peace that you're looking for, that love, that abundance that you're looking for has to go out this way, and then it comes back, and you're showered with it. But it's really about
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to express that. Thank you.
I'm going to add to that. So to want love, you have to just be love, and there you have it. That's the answer. If you want peace, then just be peace, and you will be in it because you are peace. You are love.
Yeah. Can I just add to that? I'm going to add to that.
Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah. So it was profound to me when I realized that I can't feel love from another. I can't feel peace from another. Like somebody might say, I love you so much. And what I assign to it is what I'm going to feel. I'm going, well, that's very nice, or no, you don't, or whatever. That love, the only time I feel love is when it comes through me. When I'm looking at something, when I'm beholding something and I'm feeling overcome with love, that's the only way you get love. You can't feel someone else's. You can't. So it's all here. It's all within you, and
you can share it though. It can be extended.
Yes, it can definitely be extended.
Yeah, but you're not trying to get
for it. But we can so extend it. But looking for it out here to get it, it's just like it's chasing our tail.
It's like seek but do not find.
Yes,
right,
Laura.
Okay.
First of all, that was amazing. I love you so much, so much, so much, so much. Right to my soul, right in the seat of my soul. You hit me. And I love what you were saying because I love Abraham too. I watch a lot of different things, that connect me. They all overlap with the same thing the Course is saying too. And you can't get it wrong and you never get it done. That's what Abraham says all the time, which just simply means to me too, I can't get it wrong. Even if I'm perceiving something like you just dealt with, what you heard on the question, it's going to wake you up. Everything that's happening, I'm either going to wake up and come that this is not happening, and I'm making things happen in a way that, not that things aren't happening with my eyes, but I'm perceiving them a different way from my past or from something I've seen, or like you said, we've all been somewhere. And so I have to just keep plugging along at this, so that nobody feels like, I like it so that nobody feels like I'm doing it wrong. Like, why am I still in pain? Why am I reading this book? Why am I blah, blah, blah? And I like that fact that you're saying, just keep doing this. Just keep asking to awaken. Just keep reading the book if you're not hearing it in your head. Read it again. You know what I mean? Go to some other things. Connect. You will get your answers. If I ask the Holy Spirit or my source, whom I choose to call God, guide me, show me, help me, heal me, I'm going to get hooked right in with what I'm supposed to be doing to hear, to awaken, to be that love, to bring that love out. Because a lot of people get really confused, and I do deal with heroin addicts. I sponsor them. I talk to the high school kids, and they're very confused. They don't understand. They think, how do I do that? How do I bring love in? How do I do that? And I just keep saying, just keep doing what you're doing and asking for help, because you can't get it wrong and you never get it done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
I think we're out of time.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I guess we're going to form a circle.
Got
Yeah.
a red light. Do you want to pray? Do you want to ask somebody else to pray?
I'll let anybody. Does anyone want to pray?
We'll do the GM. Hi, David.
Oh, it's off anyway.
Monica, that was incredible. I mean, can we just unlink hands and give her a round of applause and love? So good. I mean, so good. Thank you. I love the way God comes through you. I love the way God comes through everybody in here. Yeah. Thank you everybody for being here, and we do have a love box back there, which helps us do all the work that we do. And there's a donation button for anybody out there live streaming.
God only gives.
Yes, God only gives. You can't outgive God. So we do a prayer for giving, for when we do give. It's based on the unity prayer. So we're going to bless all our tithes and all our offerings. So divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Amen. Is there anybody here who'd like to pray us out?
All right, I'm willing.
Yay.
I just want to say that it's not your beliefs that really make an impact, but it's your sharing your experience of your beliefs. So let's just take a deep breath, breathing into our hearts that which we know, that we are the light of God, and we are all parts of the wholeness of this love that we heard Monica talk about. And it is something that we breathe into and experience. And so let us go forth and extend that which we know and that which we are the receivers of what has been shared, and now it's ours to pass on. And that is who we are. So we say thank you, God. Thank you to all of us on the God inside of each of us. So it is. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, everybody.